Have you ever noticed that some people seem to save money in an almost annoying way? They take time to buy anything, refuse promotions that everyone takes advantage of, use objects to the end, and sometimes seem even exaggerated. A lot of people look at these habits and think, that's petty. But what if I told you that some of the behaviors that seem to be the most mistakes are exactly those that help build wealth? The curious thing is that many financially intelligent people do these things without even realizing it. While watching, try to count how many of those habits are part of your life. You may find that you are much closer to financial freedom than you think. The first habit seems pure indecision. You take time to buy. It doesn't matter if it's a cell phone, a sneaker, or even a coffee maker. You search, compare prices, watch reviews, read reviews, and sometimes, after a few days, simply lose interest. Anyone who sees it from the outside thinks you complicate everything. But there is something going on in your brain. The desire to buy usually peaks early on. When you wait, it gives time for emotion to diminish and for logic to take control. That's exactly why so many impulsive purchases never happen when you only wait a few days. What seems like delay may actually be self-control. The next habit is also often misinterpreted. You use things to the end. Is your phone still working? You keep using. Is your backpack still good? You see no reason to switch. While many people feel the need to replace everything all the time, you'd rather enjoy what you already have. Some call it a lack of ambition. But financially smart people see it differently. They understand that each object fulfilling its entire life represents money that continues to work for them rather than disappearing into unnecessary purchases. Now think about it. You like to say, I'll think. In a store, in a promotion, or even when someone insists on you to buy something, your answer is usually the same. I'll think. It sounds insecurity, but it's exactly this little break that prevents countless bad decisions. Companies spend billions trying to make you believe you need to decide right away. They know that rushing favors emotion. When you slow down, you regain control of the decision. Another curious habit is to refuse promotions. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Who would refuse a discount? But financially smart people ask a simple question before any offer. Would I buy this if I wasn't on sale? If the answer is no, then the discount did not save money. It just created an expense that didn't even exist before. It's a small difference, but it completely changes the way you see consumption. Now comes a habit that many people consider boring. You ask too many questions before you spend money. Want to understand guarantee, quality, evaluations, duration, and even future costs. Some people get impatient. But while they buy by appearance, you buy it for information. And almost always better decisions are born from better questions. There is also that behavior that seems to be a lack of confidence. You change your mind. Once you've learned something new or uncovered important information, you're not ashamed to give up a purchase. Many people keep spending only to prove them right. Financially strong people would rather admit that they have changed their minds than waste money trying to defend their own ego. Now we come to one of the most misunderstood habits of all. You don't feel the need to keep up with everyone. A new device is launched. Everyone wants to buy. A fashion appears. Everyone runs after. But you stop and think, do I really need this? That simple question is worth more than it seems. Because much of impulsive shopping is born of social comparison, not real necessity. And here's something interesting. People who accumulate wealth don't normally look rich. They are not trying to impress anyone. While some spend to show success, others quietly invest in the future itself. The difference is that a purchase approval. The other buys freedom. Maybe you also have a habit that seems over the top. You pay attention to small expenses. A coffee here, a forgotten subscription there, a fee that hardly anyone notices. Many say that these values are insignificant. But smart people understand that wealth doesn't usually disappear in a single gigantic decision. She slowly escapes through hundreds of little repeated choices for years. Another curious behavior is feeling satisfaction when you can save. For many people, happiness is just about buying something new. But if you feel proud to save money or achieve a financial goal, your brain may be creating a completely different cycle. Instead of associating pleasure only with consumption, he begins to associate pleasure with progress. And that changes everything. Now think of a common situation. Have you left a purchase in the cart and returned the next day? Often that huge desire has simply disappeared. This is because the brain confuses momentary emotion with real need. Waiting doesn't just eliminate bad purchases, it also reveals which desires really matter. There is still a habit that seems even pessimistic. You imagine problems before they happen. Before you spend, think of unforeseen events, future bills, or emergencies. Some people call it excessive worry. But planning and worry are not exactly the same thing. Anticipating difficulties allows you to make smarter decisions before they see real problems. And perhaps the most important habit of all is this. You keep learning about money. The market changes. The economy changes. Opportunities change. Financially smart people understand that financial knowledge is never complete. There's always something new to learn, adjust, or improve. Now make a mental count. How many of these habits are part of your routine? Perhaps you have realized that various attitudes that seemed defects are actually hidden advantages. Perhaps what other people call exaggeration is precisely why you avoid mistakes that cost you dearly throughout your life. The truth is that building wealth rarely depends on a single brilliant decision. It usually depends on dozens of small habits repeated every day, habits that almost no one notices, habits that don't look impressive, but that in time make a huge difference. So tell me in the comments, which of these habits do you already do naturally? I want to know which of them appeared more often among those who are watching. If this video has changed your way of seeing money, leave your like so that more people find out that financial intelligence doesn't always look smart at first glance. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because in the next few videos you'll discover other seemingly common behaviors that hide financial advantages that most people never notice. See you in the next video.